In a small quiet village located at the edge of the forest, there was a man named Amadi. He was an ordinary man by most accounts, a fisherman who spent his days by the river and his nights telling stories by the fire with friends. But one night, something strange happened that would change his life forever. It began as a faint itching sensation. At first, Amadi thought little about it, brushing it off as just one of those odd bodily sensations. But the next morning, when he woke up, he noticed that his penis had grown just a little, but enough to be unusual. Ignoring this, he went about his day, thinking it was a strange fluke. But as the days passed by, his problem became harder and harder to ignore. His penis continued to grow, inch by inch, day by day. Soon, it was longer than any man's penis, becoming a source of embarrassment and curiosity in the village. Amadi tried everything he could think. He went to the village healer, who gave him herbs to drink, hoping they might reverse whatever strange magic was affecting him. But nothing worked. In fact, the herbs only seemed to make it grow faster. Desperate, he sought advice from an elder, an old man named Okeke, who was known for his wisdom and knowledge of the supernatural. Okeke listened carefully to Amadi's story, nodding slowly as he spoke. After a long pause, the elder spoke. Long ago, the elder said, there was a man who, like you, was cursed. The spirits of the forest had punished him for a misdeed, and his punishment was that a part of him would never stop growing. To break the curse, he had to find a rare flower that blossomed only once every 10 years, deep in the heart of the forest. Amadi's eyes widened. A flower, Amadi said. What kind of flower? Okeke shook his head. It is called the flower of redemption. But beware, for it is guarded by the forest spirits. They do not allow anyone to take it. With no other option, Amadi decided he would find the flower, no matter the risks. He set out early the next morning, journeying deep into the forest. Days passed as he searched, enduring sleepless nights and strange encounters with animals that seemed to watch him with knowing eyes. His condition continued to worsen, the weight of it slowing him down, but he pressed on. Finally, one moonlight night, he found it, a single radiant flower glowing under the light of the moon. Amadi reached out, his heart pounding. But just as his fingers brushed the petals of the flower, a voice echoed, "Why have you come for the flowers, mortal?" He looked around and saw a figure emerging from the shadow. A woman, but unlike any he had seen. She was tall, with skin as dark as the night, and eyes that glowed like ember. She was a forest spirit, powerful and ancient. Amadi bowed his head, his voice trembling. I am cursed. My penis, it will not stop growing. I seek the flower to break the curse. The spirit watched him, her expression unreadable. She said, do you know why you were cursed? Amadi shook his head, confused. I have done nothing wrong. The spirit laughed, a sound like the rustling of the leaves. Every action has its consequences, Amadi. Your heart has been full of pride, and you have looked down upon those who have less. This curse was given to you to remind you of humility. Amadi was silent. The spirit's words sank in. He realized she was right. He had always thought himself above others, quick to judge and slow to forgive. His curse was a punishment and a lesson. The spirit held out her hand. If you truly wish to be free, you must let go of your pride and embrace humility. Only then will the flower's power be yours. With a heavy heart, Amadi nodded. He knelt before the spirit, letting go of the pride that had weighed on him for so long. In that moment, he felt a strange sensation, a warmth that spread through his body, lightening the burden he had carried. When he opened his eyes, the flower was in his hand, and the spirit was gone. He returned to the village, and from that day, the curse was lifted. Amadi became a different man, humble, kind, and forever grateful for the lessons he had learned in the heart of the forest. And though the villagers noticed the change in him, only Amadi knew the truth of his journey, a tale he would carry in silence for the rest of his life.